Hey everybody.
Hey everybody.
Wait, who's rolling it?
Who's doing this one?
Hey everybody, this is Workforce Gaming. I am Brad along here with Doug.
I guess Brad's doing this one.
Woo! Sometimes we forget to talk about things. So, at Sony's press conference Monday night, they released the demo for Resident Evil 7. Announcement, demo, and here you go. So,
And a very loose definition of right now.
yeah, I looked like, I think I stayed up for about an hour after their conference, like refreshing the store, and I was like,
So did I.
bet it is. I guess I'll play this in the morning. So, yeah. That was a little disappointing, but I guess, you got a demo for Resident Evil 7 the day it was announced, so I guess you can't complain too much.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so we've both played through the... Actually, did you finish the demo, or did you, get your, I'm too scared to play this?
Yeah, no, I did finish it. It took me a while to finish it. I think the whole thing is maybe 15 minutes long. I think it took me about an hour of, pausing it, not Googling, just, go on the internet, just kind of chilling, taking a few
Yeah, you don't do well with...
breaks.
You don't do well with horror games, do you?
I do really bad I like third-person horror games a lot. I don't like first-person horror because they like to jump in your face.
Oh,
and
yeah.
this was like a VR game. I was like, oh god, there's gonna be the scene where he jumps in your face. Spoiler: there's a scene where a guy jumps in your face. At least 2 or 3. Yeah, no. So I did actually finish it. I did enjoy it. I did.
I did too, and I think a couple important things to point out there if you haven't played this yet. This is a first-person game, which is new for Resident Evil, and it is very much a much more classic-feeling Resident Evil. It is a very different take on this franchise, and I'm very curious to see what they end up doing tying this into the universe, and if they even bother to.
Yeah, no, actually, they've announced that it is a sequel to Resident Evil 6. That actually is. It's still in the same timeline and everything. I think people are kind of like, it does feel like a departure for the series. At the same time, it's like, because I was playing, I was like, holy shit, I think I texted you, whoa, this game is scary, which is weird to say for a Resident Evil game, because Resident Evil has been scary for about a decade, at least. Resident Evil kind of stopped being a horror game around once Resident Evil 4 came on. There are scary moments in Resident Evil games, but they're not horror games. Like, this is a horror game. This is a effing terrifying PT ripping off horror game.
So I have to say, I did not think this was that much of a horror game. Like, that house was pretty much empty, and I feel like before I really even knew what I was doing, I kind of took a lap around the house, so maybe that kind of ruined it for me. But I did a lot of just, I'm going to wander around this house and see what all is in this house before I actually got into doing things.
I did the opposite. I did not do a lap. I creeped. I tiptoed. I peeked around corners. Did you play this with headphones or no?
No.
Oh, see, that might have... Yeah. Well, now you know it's coming, so it's not going to be as scary. But man, with headphones, this game was intense. Holy crap, the sound design is great. There's parts... I mean, I don't know if you, heard it, but, there's parts where you can hear the guy walking around the house before you see him. Like, you can hear a door open.
Oh, no, for sure.
That shit just scared oh my god, that scared me so bad. Actually, when I heard the door open, I just heard a door open, somewhere nearby. It's just I paused it, went on the internet for a bit. Okay, we're going to do this. It was really, really, it was very neat. I sort of like these sort of teasers because it was just to set a tone. And they did some really clever stuff. And clever stuff is not something I expect Resident Evil games to do. I think the cleverest thing they did was the tape. Did you actually get around? You picked up the tape.
I watched the tape, yeah.
The tape scene did one of those things that I love in games, wait, I can play this?
Yes, I did the same thing. I sat there, I watched, because you're sitting there, you pick up this tape, and you just watch these two people kind of walk away towards the house, and I'm just sitting there this is really weird. Okay, I'm listening to their conversation. They just kind of stop for a second. I'm sitting there just watching these people standing there, and I probably sat there for a good 30 seconds, okay, what's going to jump out at me? What's going to come knock the camera over? Okay, whatever. And I'm sitting there, what the hell? So I just, tapped the controller, and I was oh, I am a camera. Okay.
And they literally, in the most literal sense, do the Blair Witch Project. That entire section is literally the finale of the Blair Witch Project, and it was fucking great. It was great. It was so good. That part to me was just so heart racing. The game did something in this scene that I thought was really clever. It made me lose a character. It tricked me into losing track of one of the characters. And I thought that was great because you always see that in horror movies. Like, wait, how'd that guy just disappear? Like, come on, they would have noticed. But there's a
Yeah.
scene where he's like, "Hey, man, come over here and get a good shot of me." And he's like, "Hey, Joe, how'd you think about that shot?" And he's like, "Joe?" I had like looking around, I was like, "Holy crap, that actually does happen!" Like, you can
Where'd
lose
that guy
track
go?
of somebody.
Yeah, for sure. And that I do think that was the one part where I was like, oh shit, something's up. The only part I felt like kind of a little on edge with this was that video scene. Just okay, because when you first enter the house or when you first start in the house, like obviously some shit went down. Like you can kind of tell that, but that was kind of like this. Okay, we're in this fresh house now. This is when the shit went down, which means sometime in this something's gonna happen. So that kind of put me on edge a little bit more, but. I don't know. I have to say, I love that scene. I love the fact that you're kind of retracing the steps and you're going through this house and you're seeing the same house two different ways. I always love when we see those kind of things. It's just a really, really well made demo, and I'm very curious again to see what Resident Evil 7 ends up becoming because
Yeah.
where 6 leaves off and the tone that is 6 and what this is are two incredibly different things.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things. Like, there's still interesting stories to tell with the Resident Evil IP. It's just maybe not the main. I understand this is like a mainline game, but not the story the mainline games have been telling.
Yeah.
I feel like this is gonna be really disappointing if it goes into like T-Virus shit and Wesker and Ada and stuff like that. I just feel like I feel like this universe is gonna be ruined by that, because it is so cool and it is so serious. And it does just have that. It does have a neat tone. That I really do appreciate because it does bring that horror back to Resident Evil. It's scary for just about any game. Like, I've played like horror games before, and there's a lot of indie horror games, and there isn't this sort of like triple A sheen to them.
Yeah.
And it is neat seeing that sort of thing with like a triple A sheen, which we really haven't seen since PT.
Yeah. So that is a natural comparison. How do you feel like this compares to PT?
That's a good question.
Well, thank you.
I think this one was more. I feel like I have seen this stuff before. PT was something I had not seen before. I mean, even like without PT, this has some very like normal horror beats, like horror video game beats that I've seen before. PT was something I had never seen before. That was just like, that was a whole other planet because you had no idea what to expect going into PT. And this one, like, you knew that there's a guy walking around the house. In PT, like, you didn't know if you're just going to open a door and you're going to be like in somebody's head or something. Like every time that door opened, you're like, what the fuck is going on? And this one's like, there's a guy in the house. You know what I mean? So I think PT had more of that, like, get in your head horror than this one did.
Yeah, I think for sure. I think, honestly, and I feel like this is probably going to be the opposite of the popular opinion, I prefer this, though. I much prefer this over PT. PT to me was way too abstract or obtuse or whatever. I liked the straightforwardness of it. I liked that it had the same feel. It gave me the feeling PT did, and it gave me that same sense of urgency and that same sense of kind of suspense that PT gave me, but it didn't give me the frustration that PT gave me. That was my one hang up with PT is I just got so irritated walking down that damn hallway for the 20th time and seeing, okay, the picture's tilted slightly to the left now. Like,
yeah,
I think I liked this more. And I am curious just what would this be in a world without PT?
Yeah, I don't think this thing doesn't exist in a world without PT.
That was my thought too, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure this thing was made up. I think this is like one of those things where like something is made concurrently with something else, and it's like, oh crap. Well, the thing that you were saying that you were frustrated with PT because you didn't feel like you knew what was going on. Even I didn't. I mean, like I had to Google shit like what the hell is, how do you play this game or whatever. This game felt like if you didn't know any of the puzzle aspects, you could still finish this thing, and you felt like, oh, okay, I have an idea of what Resident Evil 7 is. While PT was like, you just feel like it feels like you're playing a puzzle that you just don't understand at all.
Yeah.
And it is crazy obtuse. This one actually still has that.
A little bit.
It hit it. Yeah, it has a lot of it. It has a whole lot of it. But I think just like for normal players like me and you, like we still felt like, okay, we got Resident Evil 7, and PT was like, okay, I just felt like this unsolved puzzle that I'm never going to figure out. This game, people have been kind of really digging into this online, and there's a lot of weird things that are going on with this demo. First of all, there's 7 of a lot of things. There's 7 doorways. There's 7 mannequins hanging from the thing. There's 7 mannequins. There's the number 7 literally written on boxes throughout. Nobody's found the fuse yet, which I thought was really interesting. Yeah, nobody's found the fuse yet.
Huh.
Yeah, and then there's also there's an axe that you can find, which I didn't know about, which can do some things, including interrupt the final sequence, where you can actually fight off the guy with your axe.
What?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Uh,
There's a whole lot of things, and currently they're stuck. Like the puzzle in this has not been solved. Unless I'm gonna go, I might go on NeoGAF for a quick second to see. Okay, just seeing because I because I feel like this is gonna have like one of those like really weird hidden trailers. But there's like currently there's like a severed finger that kind of points in different directions depending on which way you're facing. And nobody's quite figured out what the hell this
I
is
did
all
find the
leading
finger.
to.
I messed with that for a second.
Oh, you did? Okay, yeah, I never found the finger, so I don't know what it does or anything like that.
Yeah, I didn't either. Because I picked it up and I was like, okay. Because it was while I was looking for the fuse, and I was like, is the finger the fuse? I don't think that's worked. But I went up and I tried and it didn't work. And that's when I noticed, like, okay, there's something weird going on with this. So I don't know. It's cool that, again, you've got that heavy puzzle element in it. And I like the fact then, knowing that, okay, we saw what PT did and how that brought this community together and it brought people together to talk about this ridiculous, obtuse game. But I think it turned off people like me where I didn't have that much interest in playing PT. This, I loved what I played. I saw the full story.
Mhm.
I saw what happens. I know what's going on. But I like that there is that still kind of hidden element to it where you'd never even know this stuff was going on unless you really wanted to get into it.
Yeah, yeah, I think it was. I think it was. That is a really neat thing. And the thing that's like the strangest thing about this, it's like it's doing a lot of clever things like that, like the videotape section, like there's so many like really unique and clever things that, and that is what feels weirder than anything else about this being a Resident Evil
Yeah.
game, because Resident Evil is dumb as hell, or at least it has been for a while. So it being smart, which actually has me more excited for this. I don't think I'm actually able to play this game though. Um, unless there's like some action sections where you get a shotgun or something, so I feel like at least like a little bit safe. But I don't think I'm. There's no way in hell. Would you play this in VR?
Oh, hell yeah.
Really?
Oh,
There's no way.
hell
I
yeah.
don't think I can handle that.
And just in seeing the perspective of this and seeing that, I mean, this very clearly is ready made for VR, and seeing that alone makes me go, oh, damn, like this would just be so awesome to play in VR. Like I'm almost like in my mind, if I don't have a VR by January 24th and this game comes out to great reviews, this game would make me buy a VR because I don't want to play it without it if that VR experience is up to snuff.
Yeah. Oh, VR is gonna be so cool. I hope it's cool.
I do too. Um, but yeah, it's very curious to see a Resident Evil game go this direction. I'm very excited about it. I'm glad that we're going back to this is a horror franchise, not a AAA action title.
Yeah, I don't think it's a AAA action horror yet. I think we discussed a little bit this before the podcast, though. Could it's like not part of the main game? You're not playing as the main character. I feel like this could very well still just be Resident Evil. I think it still has that opportunity to, even though it's all in first person. Like I could easily see them doing like a third person. Like what's the difference between first person and third person controls these days anyway?
Yeah, I am hopeful that there is some good tie-ins to this because I am a fan of the Resident Evil universe. I love the Resident Evil games. I mean, even 5 and 6, which I know are not great games, they're games that are interesting to me. I always love the evil corporation aspect. That's always fun, and
Mm-hmm.
just these kind of messing with things. And I love how well built that universe is, even if it does have some very confusing parts to it that don't necessarily always make sense. But I do hope there's some tie-in here, and I don't necessarily need it to be this huge
Mm-hmm.
thing, but connecting back to this being, something back from the original T virus or something, or
Yeah.
going back to this as, maybe an Umbrella side, place or whatever it may be. But I do hope there's some good tie-in with it. That was my only disappointment with this, is I was expecting at the end there to be some hint to me that this was Resident Evil, because if I had to
Yeah.
play that without knowing what it was, my first thought would have been like, oh, so this is like Outlast 2.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't. It's. I don't mind that it doesn't feel like Resident Evil. I do mind that it does feel like other things because I think
Yeah.
we had said possibly Condemned. It looks like very much like Condemned too. It looks like a lot of other things.
Yeah, which, can we just take a second and say somebody should bring back Condemned? I forgot how much I like that game.
I played like maybe 20 minutes of it, and I think I typed to you on Facebook. It's like, oh, it could be Condemned or something like that, and you went like bonkers, like holy shit. It's like,
I loved Condemned
okay.
1 and 2. Those are great games. But yeah, I'm excited for whatever this may be, whatever this turns out to be. It looks awesome. It's fun to play. it's exciting to see something like this not only being done by a AAA studio, but something like this done in the Resident Evil universe, and seeing them kind of listen to fan feedback and go, okay, we're going back to the horror. We're going back to what you guys have been asking for now. We've kind of taken that turn of understanding, like we built this so big that now we need to come back to where we started from.
I hope this is good. I just hope this is good. I feel like they're gonna get cold feet and go back to the stupid. Like I do not think this is gonna be the tone of Resident Evil 7.
I don't really either, but I think they're getting a good enough reaction to this that it will help.
That's probably true. Yeah.
I don't know. And of course, the one thing that's always there is hopefully VR doesn't ruin this game. Hopefully the VR like cash in crap isn't ruining this experience. That always makes me nervous.
I was surprised how good it looked for like what I thought with a VR game. Like I was like, damn, okay, that looks pretty damn good.
Yeah. Granted, it's not running on a VR right now, at least on my PlayStation 4. So you've always got that bait and switch. But
yeah,
hopes are high. Let's leave it at that. So. This has been Workforce Gaming. You can follow us on Twitter at Workforce Gaming. Subscribe to us on YouTube, Sound or iTunes, or wherever else you may be listening to us at. We will see you later.
Bye.